Mendoza and Surratt were named to the Maxwell Award watch list. Indiana was one of 16 teams to have multiple guys on that watch list. Again, another reason, like, why are Indiana fans so confident about their football team? Is because everybody in the country is telling us that we have talented football players, just like our own eyes are.
100%. 100%. Yeah, no, it makes sense. A little bummed Hemby got snubbed a little bit, but that's probably having to do with the fact that he will be splitting carries with BB and Black moving forward. But yeah, glad to see those guys. Last year it was just Rourke. Rourke made that list last year, and he panned out pretty good.
Fisher, Pons, and Kamara were also named to the Bronco Nagurski?
Bronco Nagurski, yes.
Nagurski, yeah. They were named to the Bronco Nagurski watch list as well. So shout out to those guys. Obviously studs at their position.
The best defensive player in the country award.
Yep. The SEC/ESPN radio guys lost their minds after media day. There was like a 10-man like octo penta box of the same. I swear it was the same guy in different shirts, but literally in tears, crying about Curt Signetti in the Indiana
Same
Hoosiers.
Guy in different shirts is crazy. That's so funny.
I think Carlos Hoosier pulled one of the pictures of the guy and made it his profile picture. It was one of the funnier things I saw last week. So that was very funny. Yeah, but it's just people like that, to people in our comments like Les Austin, who's just like, blah, blah, blah. Like, people are angry about Indiana football in July.
I thought we were a feel-good story.
People, out of one side of their mouth will be like, irrelevant, we don't care, didn't do anything, didn't earn it. And then you look at Paul Feinbaum has SMU's head coach on, Rhett Lashley, and they're talking about Curt Signetti, an SEC guy and an ACC guy on ESPN. You think they'd talk about, one conference or the other conference, or, SMU's football team, but no, they're talking about Curt Signetti. And so it's like, if anybody tells you that this program doesn't have motion, is lying to your face.
I couldn't have said it better myself. You're cooking right now. Keep going.
Speaking of motion, there was a little bit of a movement on Indiana Twitter last week, started by the Burner Army, and I'll have to shout out Hoosier Commish on this one. People want many men, Brad. People want 50 cents.
People want Thunderstruck. I've always thought of that show too,
which is why. So that's kind of why I literally just put it back on the playlist. Like, I was like getting all hyped up, and then I saw the stuff unfolding on the timeline, and my goal is to try and get out to one game this year. So it's like, I'm not gonna push one way or another in terms of what the game day experience should look like for versus people who are gonna be at 8 football games this year. Those voices should matter more, in my opinion. But once it kind of was clear which way it was going, and then once we kind of got pulled into the convo, shout out to Angelo Pons tagging us in the tweet saying we got to make this happen. It's like, yeah, you look at the D-Lo, the Many Men D-Lo edit that Angelo put out on his Twitter page. First of all, that ended with the Rosenthal Sports, I got tingly when I saw the Rosenthal Sports. If anybody knows anything about NFL agents and things like that, big time agents. So love that he's representing D-Lo. But it's just it has to be many men. Bryant Haynes is in on it. It fits the vibe of this team. Everybody's taking shots left and right. It's if 50 Cent ends up in Bloomington at the end of this season, that's one of the things me and you talked about on this show, was that you'll start seeing Indiana take the next step when you start seeing celebrities and different people associate with Bloomington that would have no other reason to be there. And if this is the way to get 50 to Bloomington, and I'm not saying it is, but it's that's one of those things where you just start checking boxes.
Hey, if we're 11-0 going into Purdue, 50 will be there. I promise you, especially if we're playing many men all year coming on the field. I was actually somewhat opposed to many men, because I like the continuity of entrance songs. It's a big part of going to games growing up. Is actually one of my favorite parts, was the entrance song of UCLA coming out to they would come out to Van Halen in the Darrell era. New Heisel was I think Till I Collapse by Eminem, which was really fire. Honestly, personally, my favorite. That one went crazy. And then Ladies and Gentlemen by Saliva. I mean, the list is going on. There's this one crazy song that Jim Mora would put on. One of my favorites. Many Men, you sold me on it. Many Men is the wish death upon me. Does not fit a different team better than Indiana right now. What should be the feel-good story of college football has turned into the black sheep of what is called of Power 2 college football right now. And it's wild to me that that's the case, but many men fits this team and what this program in terms of attention has gotten to a T. So as long as we can keep that, going, I think it'd be awesome. But I will say, like, to be honest, I think it fits for this season.
No, I'm with you.
Moving forward, what if we just switch it up every year? Just based on the theme of the year. I don't know. I just don't see many men being like a 10-year walkout song for this team. Thunderstruck's kind of, timeless, right? But many men for this year, I'm all for it.
We'll see what they end up doing. Hoosier Review, if you know Hoosier Review on X, one of the better Twitter accounts to follow out there if you're an Indiana fan. He tweeted out, if you could add one player to this current team from the past, who would it be? I felt like the easy answer would have been somebody like Micah McFadden or Jalen Walker or Cam Jones or somebody like that. So I went with a personal favorite. I went with Whop Phillier. He was in our class. Unbelievable in the slot. I think he had 18 catches in the Outback Bowl game we were at. Just an absolute dog. And it's not that slot is an issue on this team. I think they have a lot of highly capable guys that are going to be able to play the position. But if you just want to experienced, ready-made plug and play slot guy like Whop Phillier, I think would have fit perfectly on this football team.
He would totally fit this team with Coop, Surratt, and Whop Phillier. I remember meeting Whop our freshman year. We were in the same class at a B-Town banger, random house party. Very nice guy, very chill, super cool guy. Very down to earth. And I guess what would my answer be? I can't steal Whop because there's just so many good IU players over the years.
Somebody said Simi Cobbs. I was like, ooh,
man,
like Marcelino Ball or like T. Gray Scales.
I got one. Peyton Hendershot.
Aaron Casey.
Peyton Hendershot. I like that one a lot.
Kind of like that.
Yeah. Or hear me out. Who am I thinking of? Who had the pick 6 in the Super Bowl? Tracy Porter. I'll take him. I'll take Tracy Porter.
Jameer Johnson.
No, not Jameer Johnson. No, maybe Taiwan Mullen. But I'm gonna go Tracy Porter. Tracy Porter will be my answer. Corner. Just because we have a position. I like that you went kind of where we could maybe upgrade. Whop Phillier is an NFL player where we can upgrade maybe slot.
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily even like upgrade. I just if you look at I think we're gonna be fine in the slot.
The funny thing is that Whop actually isn't all that much better than the slots that we have, which is kind of like the scary part.
He just has experience. He's got Big Ten game experience, which is where my head went. But
you know who has the all-time leader in single game receptions in the Big Ten?
John says it'd be Jade Butcher, flanker for the 67 Rose Bowl team. I'm gonna turn on the film.
Not running wishbone anymore.
No, I'm turning on the film later. I'm writing this down. Jade Butcher.
Oh man, back when it was called a flanker. That's a wide receiver for those that don't know. And wide receiver when they would run the ball, 80 times a game. But yeah, who's the all-time leading receiver in the all-time single game receptions leader in the Big Ten is Whop Phillier. If you didn't know.
Is it 18 in the Outback Bowl?
I think it's 18, or maybe he had 22 in a different game, something like that. But it's a crazy high number.
Something stupid like that.
Yeah, because there were times on those Whop Phillier teams where the only offense was all right, Whop is somewhere 8 yards down the field, and we're gonna throw it to him, and he's gonna dive over for a
Whop zone sits and dives past 3 people. Yeah.
That was literally the offense for good. Certain games there.
Butcher, 30 games, 30 touchdowns from Jade, but I'm excited to turn on the film later.
Oh man, what a dog.
We got obviously NFL training camp season started, and Jalen Walker was an early cut for the Raiders, which is kind of shocking, but he had a Broncos.
He dropped Tevin Coleman. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Jalen Walker had a Broncos workout today, so hopefully he'll get picked up soon. But CJ West is absolutely showing out at 49ers camp. They talked about him really impressing, that fact that he's like winning all of his one-on-ones and like dominating, and he's built like a fire hydrant and explosive, and like everything we know CJ West to be, he's demonstrating out in San Francisco. So that's just, we love to hear that. Shout out to Big West.
The pipeline begins. The NFL pipeline begins. I mean, I'm counting like just 7 at least NFL guys in this team, at least.
And Miles Price made a sick catch for the Vikings camp too.
Oh, good for him. Yeah, I mean, he's fighting for a roster spot.
CJ West number 30.
CJ West is fighting for a starter spot, whereas Price is really trying to make the team. So glad he's making plays out there.
He's grinding. 31 as a receiver is tough.
Yeah. What's good for him is that Signetti probably prepared him for some special teams roles, you know? So he's definitely prepared to maybe win like gunner role or a punt returner role, something like that, where he can make an impact on the team where he's not necessarily in that JJ McCarthy offense. Excited for all the boys that are currently in camp already. Hence my fall camp hat that I've had on for the whole show.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. I promise there's a little bit more smoke left, and then we'll get into fall camp and we'll get you out of here, Brad. Don't worry.
No, I'm not going.
Showtime sales has officially scheduled game visits for the 2025 season. Among them, Indiana, Ohio State, Notre Dame. I think there was also Michigan, LSU, A&M. Off the top of my head, there may have been one more. So anybody who was nervous about maybe, like, I know there was a video going around a couple weeks ago, like, that I retweeted that, like, oh, he didn't say Indiana. Like, it's like, no, I'm not nervous. Kid's been working out in Indiana shirts. Like, said he wanted to visit Indiana. Like, yeah, he scheduled his game visit. Like, he's coming to campus. Like, these are it's obvious, like, when you have a kid as talented as Showtime Sales, he's going to take every visit he possibly can and should. You should, like, take advantage of this time. Like, go see all these different places. You just want to be one of those places that he chooses to see. And Indiana's in the conversation.
100%.
We got like team pictures from pretty much everybody, and I saw one of the guys say, I can't remember who it was, that like there no drip allowed. There was just no drip in any of the team photos, which I thought was pretty funny. But all the guys had photos coming out, so that was cool. Like there was like some cool shots of the Kamaras, which I thought was dope. And picture day is always cool. Media day is cool for the players, and they get stuff to put on socials and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like for the pictures, the no swag allowed. When they do the videos for the Jumbotron, I think it's very important that they have swag on, or else it looks very weird, in my opinion. I digress.
Yep. I want 2 birthday shout outs. One, Davion Chandler birthday today. Shout out to Davion Chandler. Happy birthday. And Coach Eddie over the weekend. Happy birthday to Coach Eddie. And Coach Eddie, it's funny. One of the things that I found, like, doing, I forget where I picked this up, but Coach Eddie and Brian Haynes played on the same Ball State team together. And on Coach Eddie's birthday, he posted a picture of the two of them combining for a tackle, which I thought was really cool.
That's fun.
It's just the deeper connections on this coaching staff. Like, it's the little things, man. It's the little things. The other point I wanted to make about the fact that just like all these different shows continue to talk about Curt Signetti, regardless of if he's the talking point or not. It's just like that. These little things, like the fact that Feinbaum and all these guys are talking about Signetti, is just helping Indiana's brand grow. It's just giving them relevance. It's giving them credibility. Like, people are talking about this Indiana football team, and that is not something we've been able to say about them in the past. And it just continues to elevate the brand.
Before this offseason, when was the last offseason anyone mentioned anything about Indiana football besides them hiring a new coach, for 10 seconds and then moving on to the next storyline? It just didn't happen, right?
And now they dominate news
really
cycles.
The first time it's ever happened. Now every time Signetti says something remotely somewhat controversial, it's going to be a headline on a Fox or ESPNU show. So, I mean, just that's all, like you said, motion.
And then the final thing I got, Brad, we saw obviously new turf at the football, like on Memorial Stadium, like the football field. They completely revamped Mellencamp Pavilion. Anybody who's been inside Mellencamp has made the comment that it literally sounded like a warehouse in there, like the lights buzzed. That's no more. They completely fixed the lights, ripped up all the turf. It'll look brand new in there. They redid the coach's office, all that stuff. So we know between redoing the turf on the main field, redoing the entire practice facility, redoing the weight room with the $1 million investment when Derek Owens got there last year, redoing the coach, like these are the things that you want to see your program invest in, because these are the things that are ultimately going to help you get better. It's going to be, you have nicer facilities, it's easier to recruit, better field, easier to recruit. Like this is just check mark, green flag, green flag, green flag.
They went to the playoff with literal buzzing lights. So funny. Like when you really want to think about it, like they're just preparing for Notre Dame, taking reps. This is the whole time. Like there's like that must have been like if I was there and I'm just watching that, I would laugh. I think this is hilarious.
You got
probably no other team in this playoff that has buzzing lights except for us, but we're here. We're going for it. We're shooting for the stars. And then people wonder, you know, what? Oh, they weren't even that good. Oh, they no, it's not our time yet. You know, and that's the scary thing about this team is that it just wasn't our time yet last year. You know, if they, you know, just the fact that I don't want to, you know, self-impose limitations, yada yada. Don't want to sell the team short, but like, you know, making the playoff is like really kind of that was kind of I don't think you could really expect more from year one at an Indiana coach, right? You just can't.
Well, dude, like
realistically do that.
We've had this conversation, but if you go back and listen to the Sigs Inside episodes leading up to the season last year, like me and you were like, oh, like if we like 8 wins is on the table, like that they could surprise some people, like could be 9, like look at this. It's not that we're selling this team short, but it's like it's an anomaly what Curt Signetti was able to do, but it's like that it wasn't just 1 year and then done. Like it's because of the process. It's because of the way they go about their business day in and day out that they're able to produce the results that they have. So it's like they just took the team they had last year and upgraded it. What do like the fact that people think they're going to take this drastic step backwards, like is mind boggling.
It doesn't make any sense.
It literally doesn't make any sense.
The math isn't mathing.
The math does not math.